Today, we're diving into a medical revolution that is completely changing our relationship with our own bodies. A new class of drugs has emerged, and believe me, it's forcing us to rethink everything. And I mean everything we thought we knew about weight, willpower, and biology. Let's get right into it.
It's the question that has frustrated people for decades, right? We've all heard the advice, just eat less and move more. But if it were really that simple, wouldn't we all be at our ideal weight? The reality is, the struggle to lose weight isn't a battle of willpower, it's a battle of biology.
So, let's unpack that. Why isn't willpower enough? To understand that, we have to look at the powerful, ancient systems baked into our DNA that make losing weight feel like you're literally at war with your own body.
Okay, so picture this. The moment you start cutting calories, your body's ancient anti-starvation defenses kick into high gear. It is a full-on biological counterattack. Your metabolism slows to a crawl to conserve every single calorie. A hormone called ghrelin, basically the I'm starving hormone, floods your system. At the same time, leptin, the I'm full hormone, just vanishes. And to top it all off, your brain starts screaming for high-calorie, high-energy food.
And this really gets to the core of the problem, something called the weight set point. Your brain has a weight range that it thinks is safe, and it will defend that weight with everything it has. It doesn't know you're on a diet for summer, it thinks you're in a famine, and it's fighting for your survival. So if you can't outmuscle this incredibly powerful survival system with willpower, what are your options? Well, this brings us to Section 2. We're going to look at how a new generation of drugs is essentially hacking the brain's appetite control panel. And it all boils down to this one amazing little hormone, GLP-1. The easiest way to think about it is like a text message that gets sent from your gut to your brain after you've eaten. And the message is really simple. Hey, we've got food down here. You can turn off the hunger signals now. It's your body's own natural appetite suppressant.
And this, right here, is where these new drugs work their magic. They are brilliant mimics of this GLP-1 hormone. So a drug like Ozempic acts like a perfect copy of that I'm full key, fitting right into the lock in your brain. But then you've got Mounjaro, which is next level. It doesn't just mimic one hormone, it mimics two, GLP-1 and another one called GIP. So it's not just a key, it's a master key that opens up two different pathways to feeling full.
And you can really see the power of that master key when you look at the results. I mean, Ozempic delivering 15% average weight loss is already revolutionary, but Mounjaro pushes that to a staggering 22%. We're talking about results that are starting to get seriously close to what you'd see from major bariatric surgery.
And that brings up the big comparison, doesn't it? The showdown. How do these new weekly injections really stack up against the gold standard for dramatic weight loss, bariatric surgery? Let's break it down.
Now, looking at the numbers, surgery is still the most effective option, but it is a major, life-altering procedure. The drugs are obviously way less invasive, but they do have side effects, and crucially, you have to keep taking them. But here's the truly mind-blowing part. They both work by hacking the exact same system. The drugs are a synthetic version of the hormone, while the surgery physically changes your gut so that it produces more of its own natural GLP-1.
And you know, this insight is a total game changer in medicine. For years, the common wisdom was that bariatric surgery worked because it made your stomach smaller, like basic plumbing. But now we know that's not the whole story. It's not just stomach surgery, it's metabolic surgery. It fundamentally rewires the communication line between your gut and your brain, turning up the volume on those I'm full signals for good.
This incredible new power to medically manage weight brings us to our final and maybe most important section. Because when you can alter fundamental biology with a prescription, you're not just changing medicine, you're changing society itself.
And it looks like we could be heading down a few very different paths. One future could see even more intense social pressure, where being thin isn't just a goal but an expectation, because it's easy to achieve. Or maybe this leads to a better future, one with more empathy, where we finally collectively accept that obesity is a biological condition, not a moral failing. And then there's a third, pretty chilling possibility, a world where your body weight becomes a direct, visible sign of your wealth.
This quote really just crystallizes the entire shift we're talking about. This is the whole ballgame. It reframes the entire problem, moving away from blaming a person's choices and towards understanding obesity for what it actually is, a complex disorder of the hormones and brain signals that manage our body's energy. It's about biology, not willpower.
So we're left with a question that's going to shape the next chapter of our story as humans. As we get this unprecedented level of control of our own biology, the lines between treating a disease and enhancing ourselves are just going to evaporate. The real question isn't what this technology can do for us, but what we're going to choose to do with it. How will we redefine what normal even means?